Good morning. Good morning. I'm Anand Mari, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the start of the new academic year. Now, the fastest recorded baseball pitch was 105.8 miles an hour, thrown by Aroldis Chapman when he was with the Cincinnati Reds. Ari Luyendyk holds the record for the fastest lap of an Indy car race at over 237 miles an hour. I mention these only because they're both slower than a Ball State summer. Whether you are new to campus or returning for another year, I hope you had a chance to relax, rejuvenate, and reflect at some point over the last several weeks. Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And if we follow through with that, then we're the Army. I believe we can change the world for the better, but I'm not comfortable with that metaphor. I could perhaps go with talking about us as farmers or gardeners. Sometimes the plants are hardy, the soil rich. Sometimes the plants and soil are poor and the locusts are swarming. But the ag metaphor plays better at the university to our west. Instead, allow me to offer a brief but sincere "we fly." What we do is important, whether it's creating a productive and impactful workforce for the state, adding to the culture that enriches our communities, safeguarding the future of civic engagement, or ensuring that students and their families have access and opportunity for lifelong success as they define it. Thank you for showing up today and every day. This morning, I will share some brief announcements and information for the upcoming term, and we will also recognize many deserving award winners. Finally, we will hear from President Mearns. Every year brings personnel changes, so I'm pleased to introduce a few new members of the Academic Affairs leadership team. Dr. Nancy Abatian, Dean of University Libraries, joined us in April. Nancy is unable to join us today, but I know you will continue to welcome her. Last year, I introduced Dr. Kristen McAuliffe as the interim Dean of the College of Communication, Information, and Media. And this year, I'm pleased to introduce her as the Dean of CCIM. With Kristen's selection, we needed a new Associate Provost for Faculty Affairs and Professional Development. And I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Lynn Littleford, Professor of Psychological Science, into that role. Kristen and Lynn, would you please stand? Thank you. I also want to take a moment to introduce our shared governance leadership. Holly Dickin, David Roof, and Nancy Prater serve as the chairs of the University Senate, Faculty Council, and Professional Personnel Council, respectively. If you are present, would you please stand and be recognized? We have one visiting scholar with us this fall, Professor Paikir from Afghanistan. He is here co-teaching courses for the Center for Economic and Civic Learning, CECL. If he's attending this morning, please stand so we can welcome you. And this fall is the first fall convocation for many new faculty and staff members. If this is your first fall convocation, would you please stand so we can welcome you? Thank you. You'll hear more through emails in the Comm Center about the upcoming initiatives and opportunities for faculty and student success, but our 4th annual Student Success Summit is September 16th and 17th. Please mark your calendars and plan to attend. I ask, too, that you continue to contribute to the new university core curriculum as we prepare for the fall 2026 launch. This is an opportunity for us to make our courses more engaging through reimagining current courses or designing new ones that spotlight disciplines, which in turn promotes those disciplines to students and can attract new majors or minors. The UCC is also an opportunity to contribute to interdisciplinary learning in the beneficence theme courses that elevate our university's enduring values. My thanks to Professor Debbie Mix for her hard work with the UCC transformation. My thanks also to Jackie Grutch McKinney for her team and all of you who continue to engage in high-impact practices. Jackie reports that we had over 10,000 student enrollments in over 540 high-impact Core 4 classes last academic year. Core 4 refers to immersive learning, undergraduate research, study abroad, away, and varying perspectives. Those 540 plus course classes were from 43 departments and were taught by over 260 unique faculty members. And over 170 of these courses were immersive learning sections with more than 2,700 student enrollments. And this makes me proud. 2/3 of the immersive learning courses worked with a community partner here in Delaware County. Additionally, we awarded over $260,000 in grants to faculty teaching immersive learning courses and almost $13,000 in CHIRP faculty mini-grants to faculty teaching these high-impact courses. I'm very proud of the fact that we awarded in excess of $60,000 in CHIRP scholarships to students enrolled in high-impact classes to reduce financial barriers they might encounter in these classes. That's really good. And thank you to the committee that has been working to revise our academic year calendar. They continue to meet regularly and work across campus to ensure that the changes benefit the whole Ball State community. You'll receive more communication throughout the year, and an FAQ website is forthcoming. But for now, please know, 1, the 15-week plus exam week calendar starts fall 2026. Which coincides with a new UCC. 2, faculty are still contracted for the same amount of time, meaning that their start date in fall 2026 is August 17th. And 3, 8-week classes now become 7-week classes, and 5-week classes are still permitted and encouraged when they make pedagogical sense. The registrar, colleges, docile have been great partners as we work through the start and end dates and class meetings. I also want to thank all our colleagues in student affairs who've been working to ensure that our Welcome Weeks activities align with the new calendar and provide the best opportunities for students to connect with each other and us. Now it's my privilege to present our annual awards to those who have been designated as outstanding by their students and colleagues. All of the awards we're about to present involve detailed selection processes and long hours of reviewing nominations and supporting materials by community members. I want to thank all of you for helping us continue this tradition and for recognizing these deserving individuals. I would ask the award recipients to come to the stage for the presentation as the awards are announced. Established 35 years ago by former Dean Victor Lawhead and former academic advisor Doris Lawhead, the Lawhead Teaching Award in General Education recognizes contributions to excellent teaching and service in the university core curriculum. I'm pleased to present the award to Dr. Catherine Green, Associate Dean of the Writing Center and Associate Teaching Professor of English. Kat's teaching is comprised almost entirely of courses in the core curriculum, both in the Foundations, English 103 and 104, and Tier 1 classes. Her students says she makes an English class kind of fun, which I didn't even know was possible. Thank you, Kat, and congratulations. Ball State's Division of Online Strategic Learning, docile, and the Office of the Provost sponsored the Excellence in Teaching, or EXIT Award, to recognize faculty dedication, talent, and innovation in the classroom. The EXIT selection process begins with students nominating their choices of excellent teachers, and this year we had over 420 nominations. 5 finalists were then invited to submit a proposal to make an existing course more innovative with an emphasis on improved student engagement. The EXIT winners are Ladell Diekoff, Assistant Teaching Professor of Computer Science, who unfortunately can't be here today, and Kevin Garrity, Ruth Weldy Mauser, and Mary Weldy Porter, Distinguished Professor of Music. Ladell will enhance CS 120 Computer Science 1 Programming Fundamentals, and Jennifer Coy is accepting this award on behalf of Ladell. Kevin's course enhancement will impact Music Education 293, Secondary General Music Methods. The students will experience an elevated experience in 3 areas: integrating a research component, incorporating more music technologies, and expanding an ethnological approach to teaching and learning. Congratulations to Ladell and Kevin. The next awards are being announced for the first time today. You may not be aware that our colleagues at the Foundation have financially supported these awards for many years. We are grateful that they are willing to do so again this year. I want to express my thanks to the Office of the Vice Provost for Academic Affairs and to the committee members for their oversight and selection of the winners. The nomination materials are much more detailed, richer, and broader than we have time to hear today. These colleagues are very deserving of these awards, and I encourage you to talk with each of them regarding their achievements. Named for the Dean Emeritus Joseph Rawlings, the Rawlings Outstanding Distance Education Teaching Award honors a faculty member who has proven to be dedicated to teaching in the online environment. This year, award goes to Kwang Ho Lee, Professor of Hospitality, Innovation, and Leadership. Dr. Lee has made exceptional contributions to distance education at Ball State through his exemplary teaching of Hospitality 210, Customer Service, and Hospitality 105, Food Service Industry. His courses provide students with essential customer service and hospitality skills, emphasizing real-world applications, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary learning. Congratulations, Dr. Lee. Given in recognition of demonstrated excellence in promoting an environment that respects the values and contributions of all individuals, the Outstanding Inclusiveness Leadership Award is presented to Dr. Mary Conkle, Associate Professor of Chemistry. Her service, teaching, and research have led to a sustained positive impact on access and opportunity. Most notable is her leadership of the LSAP program, and our students have had an impressive 97% graduation rate. And her students are extraordinarily successful. Under her mentorship, 2 trainees in these groups have earned the highly prestigious Goldwater Scholarship, and 1 was named an American Chemical Society Scholar. Congratulations, Mary, and thank you. Wow, people are walking a lot faster than I can read. The Outstanding Creative Endeavor Award is given in recognition of contributions to university community in the creative arts, and this year's recipient is Dr. Kara Chowning, Associate Teaching Professor in the School of Music. Her multifaceted career as a pianist, vocal coach, conductor, and wellness advocate exemplifies extraordinary creativity and innovation in the performing arts. Her work consistently enriches the artistic community of Ball State, regionally, nationally, and internationally. And she's made an indelible impact as a music director for the vocal series of the Bar Harbor Music Festival since 2008. And she's actively expanding the chamber repertoire for flute, oboe, and piano. Congratulations, Kara. The Outstanding Advisor Award is given to an advisor who enhances student experiences outside the classroom and may include academic or career advising, working with student groups, unique projects, and mentoring of student research or creative activities. This year, the award is presented to someone who advises students in all of the above, Dr. Amanda Latz, Professor of Higher Education and Community College Leadership. From the beginning of her career, Amanda has made her students our #1 priority, and perhaps most germane to this award are her contributions in directing programs. She was the director of the Higher Ed doctoral program and recently took the role of Director of Student Affairs Administration in Higher Ed program, MA program. In both programs, she has demonstrated unparalleled dedication to teaching and advising students who are often busy working professionals. Congratulations, Amanda. The Outstanding Faculty Service Award is given in recognition of exceptional professional service to the department, college, university, profession, community, or a combination thereof. This year, the award is presented to Elizabeth Truitt, Associate Teaching Professor of Theater. Beth's advocacy and service to non-tenure line faculty has been transformative, marked by her tireless efforts to improve policies, processes, and support systems for her colleagues. As the chair of the non-tenure line faculty committee since 2021, she's been a key figure in revising critical documents. Additionally, she has spearheaded the creation of NTL committees at both the college and unit levels, fostering greater involvement and representation for NTL faculty and fostering a more inclusive, transparent, supportive environment for all faculty members. Congratulations, Beth. Given in recognition of demonstrated excellence in administrative activities within the university, this year's Outstanding Administrator Award is presented to Jennifer Coy, Department Chair of Computer Science. Her exceptional leadership and dedication and transformative impact on our department, students, and broader university community makes her truly deserving of this recognition. Students often remark on her exceptional attention to detail and the high standards she sets, which inspires them to strive for excellence. One student recently shared, "She doesn't miss anything. She wants me to be a better computer scientist and step up my game." Congratulations, Jennifer. The Outstanding Teaching Award is given in recognition of excellence in teaching, including pedagogy, creativity, or innovation in the classroom and curricula, demonstrating leadership in teaching methodologies and advancement of scholarship teaching. This year's Outstanding Teacher is Dr. Jennifer Major, Associate Teaching Professor of Biology. Her nominator wrote that Dr. Major has made a transformative impact in teaching, and I have never known someone to work harder or more effectively to support student success. Exceptional peer and student evaluations demonstrate her highly successful, research-informed, student-centered approaches to effectively meet learning needs. Congratulations, Jet. The Outstanding Research Award is given to a faculty member in recognition of outstanding research achievement. I am pleased to present this year's award to Dr. Lisa Rubel, Earl F. Smith Distinguished Professor in Special Education and Autism. Over the past 5 years, she has demonstrated exceptional scholarly achievements and made a profound impact in the field of autism intervention research, teacher burnout, and special education. Her pioneering work on the collaborative model for promoting competency and success, COMPASS, has significantly advanced evidence-based practices in autism education. Her impact is evidenced by an impressive scholarly record of productivity, which includes over 70 peer-reviewed publications, books and chapters, and over $4 million in research grants. Congratulations, Lisa. The Outstanding Junior Faculty Award is given in recognition of demonstrated composite excellence in teaching, scholarly or creative productivity, and service by a faculty member beginning an academic career and who has been at Ball State for no more than 5 years. This year's recipient is Dr. Faisal Kolada, Assistant Professor of Information and Communication Sciences. Faisal has consistently focused on student success. Indeed, his primary concern in every discussion and decision is ensuring all students will benefit. One of his key strengths is his ability to offer support and challenge in the same assignment. He designs a variety of exercises and labs that accommodate different learning styles, ensuring students are both challenged and support. Because of his extensive pedagogical experience, he can provide specific and actionable guidance. Congratulations. The Outstanding Faculty Award is given in recognition of demonstrated excellence in teaching or scholarly, creative productivity and service by a faculty member. I'm pleased to present this award to Kathy Denker, Professor of Communication Studies. Her CV clearly articulates her excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service, as well as her disciplinary expertise and accomplishments. She has established an award-winning and active line of research resulting in 25 peer-reviewed publications, 15 invited publication essays, an edited book, and over 100 conference papers, many co-authored with graduate students. And she's also the past president of the Central States Communication Associates. Thank you, Kathy, and congratulations. Please join me in congratulating all of our award winners once again. A couple of reminders as I close. All award winners are asked to return to the stage at the end of convocation for a group photo, and we will begin the nomination process near the end of the term. So please be thinking of who you wish to nominate. Now it is my pleasure to introduce President Jeffrey Mertz.
So thank you, Dr. Maury. I appreciate your leadership and your support. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm also deeply grateful for your commitment to our students and to our mission. And to all of the award recipients, congratulations once again. Why don't we give them all another big round of applause. So in his welcoming remarks, Anand welcomed some of our newest faculty and our newest deans. It's now my opportunity to introduce a couple of other special guests. In June, as you know, I appointed Mark Liebling to serve as our first Vice President of People and Culture. And as I shared in my campus message, the reason I elevated this position is because if we're going to fulfill our mission to our students, then we must do more to ensure that we enable our faculty and staff to find fulfillment in their work and meaning in their lives. Mark, would you please stand? Welcome, Mark Liebling. Thank you, Mark. The newest member of our Board of Trustees is sitting next to my wife. Aiden Davis is here. Aiden is a junior studying biochemistry, and I look forward to working with him and all of the other members of our Board of Trustees. Aiden, want to stand up? And so we are very fortunate to have a board that is committed to our mission. I also want to recognize there are several members of our Foundation Board of Directors who are here and members of our Alumni Council. Some of them are here, some of them are watching the live stream. I'm grateful to all of you for what you do to support our institution. And we are fortunate that Senator Scott Alexander is here with us this morning. Also, Jerry Alexander from the governor's office is here, and from the Office of United States Senator Banks, Steve Justice. Thank you for coming with us, joining us today. And I must take a personal note and express my appreciation to my wife, Jennifer. Thank you for what you do for me, the university, and our community. So my passion, our passion for our mission is why I'm grateful for the opportunity to begin my 9th academic year here as the president at Ball State University. Today, and every day, as you hear me say, it is my great good fortune to serve you. So as I prepared my remarks for this morning, I reflected on the past 8 years, and it prompted me to think of that old adage that there's only one constant in life, and that's change. Some changes we've experienced, like getting a $35 million philanthropic investment from the Lilly Endowment, those have been good changes. Others, like a global pandemic that disrupted our operations, have not been the best of times. But in higher education, as we know, we are now facing, I guess, what we can call emerging challenges. And I'm going to speak a little more about that in a few minutes. But first, let's celebrate our successes and appreciate the transformative impact that we have on our students and the impact that we have on our friends and neighbors in the communities that we serve. Because we prepare for an uncertain future from a position of strength. We anticipate that on Monday, our freshman class will be approximately 3,725 new students, larger than last year's class, and for the third consecutive year, the size of our incoming freshman class is larger than our pre-pandemic 10-year average. We're swimming against the tide in higher education. This fall, freshman class is also extraordinarily well prepared. Their average high school GPA is 3.57. Approximately nearly 30% of them are first generation in their family to go to college, and more than 40% of them are eligible for Pell Grants. You know, on our ability, I know that's why you were applauding, and some of them were giving a shout out to Paula Luff and her team. We're swimming against the tide because in Indiana, the college going rate has dropped to 52%, and it's been trailing in that downward direction for more than a decade. This fall, when you consider our total enrollment, that's undergraduate and graduate returning and new, we will have approximately 1,000 more students enrolled at Ball State than just 3 years ago. And this result is the hard work of our colleagues in enrollment planning and management, along with creative contributions from our colleagues in the Division of Marketing and Communication. And I also know that they're working in partnership with our deans and our faculty all across the colleges to help us recruit outstanding students. And that's why, as a result of this hard work, we're making those kind of enrollment gains, as I said, swimming against the tide. This fall, approximately 620 new freshmen will enroll in our Honors College, and this year, total enrollment in the Honors College will exceed 1,600 students, an all-time record for Ball State University. In other colleges, since the pandemic, total enrollment in the Estopanol College of Architecture and Planning has grown 20%, from 920 students to more than 1,100 students. In that same period of time, enrollment in our College of Fine Arts has also increased, including double-digit growth in our School of Art and our School of Music. Last year, we had the largest total number of graduate students in our history, and we are on track to meet and perhaps exceed that with approximately 5,600 students, graduate students, enrolled at Ball State this fall. So it takes a lot of work. Yep, there's applause for all of you. It takes a lot of work to recruit new students, but the principal reason that students enroll at Ball State is because of our outstanding academic programs. This year, our SportsLink program was recognized as the number one sports media program in the country from the Broadcast Education Association. A few weeks ago, after receiving this recognition, as you see, our students earned 3 first-place awards in a national competition from the College Sports Media Awards Association. Our SportsLink students embody that enduring value of excellence. So do students on our speech team, which won the annual Indiana Speech Tournament for the 15th year in a row. Excellence is also reflected in our actuarial science program, which recently received an exceptional distinction from the Society of Actuaries. We are now one of just 2 public universities in Indiana to be recognized as a Center for Actuarial Excellence. Yep. And just a few months ago, the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, AACSB, reaffirmed its accreditation for our business and our accounting programs in the Miller College of Business. And the reason this designation is significant is because it is held by only the top 6% of business schools in the world. This year, our Department of Social Work celebrates its 50th anniversary. It is the oldest and the largest accredited undergraduate social work program in Indiana. And Dr. Ron Dolan has been teaching social work courses for longer than our program has existed. This fall, he will teach students in a creative and innovative immersive learning class dedicated to creating promotional and training materials to integrate social workers into police departments. And I believe Dr. Dolan is here today. Ron, please stand so that we can recognize 54 years of service to Ball State. Congratulations, Ron. Thank you. Our Faculty and Teachers College, as you know, are also outstanding. They are also innovative, as demonstrated by the dual credit pathways the college designed to align with the state's new focus on work-based learning. Enrollment in our teacher preparation dual credit pathways increased from just 4 students 2 years ago to 92 students this year. Our Teachers College also received an A+ rating from the Indiana Department of Education for integrating the Science of Reading curriculum into our teacher preparation programs. Science of Reading is also accelerating the progress of our partnership with the Muncie Community Schools. 2 years after adopting the literacy curriculum, 4 MCS elementary schools showed double-digit growth in pass rates this spring compared to just 1 year ago. All six MCS elementary schools are now in the state's high-growth quadrant. In fact, this past year, it was just announced this week, in this past year, the iRead scores in MCS elementary schools increased more than 9 percentage points. That's double the state average in that 1-year period. And MCS graduation rates, the ultimate outcome, the graduation rate at Muncie Central High School is now 91%, and it exceeds the state average. These are just a few of the examples of the extraordinary work that the teachers and the staff and the administrators are doing at MCS. And I invited several members of the MCS School Board and administration to join us this morning. Some of them are here. Please stand so that we can express our appreciation and admiration to all of you. Thank you very much. They are doing the hard work every day to deliver on the fundamental promise that we made 7 years ago when we took on this responsibility, which was to provide a high-quality public education experience to every child in Muncie, Indiana. Thank you for what you do. Our partnership with MCS exemplifies our university's commitment to serving the community. Another vital community partnership is how our public media programming informs, educates, and entertains viewers and listeners all across our region, all across East Central Indiana. Just last month, Ball State Public Media earned 3 national awards from the Public Media Journalists Association. Among those awards was a first-place prize for a local segment of Morning Edition hosted by Stan Sollers, a community treasure, who has been the program's anchor now for 30 years. Congratulations, Stan. So as you all know, you've heard and read, there have been some reductions in federal and state funding, and it put public broadcasting at risk, but not on our campus and not in our community. We will continue to provide objective news and engaging entertainment for our friends and neighbors here in East Central Indiana. So we established Ball State Public Media 5 years ago in order to provide more local programming that was relevant to our friends and neighbors, and to provide practical educational experiences to our students. Our university's commitment to providing every student access to high-impact learning experiences is another reason why students choose Ball State. This past year, as you heard from the provost, thousands of students participated in an immersive learning experience, and thousands of students, I think it's about 1,600 students just this past year, conducted research alongside our outstanding faculty and staff. And to enable this work, our colleagues secured approximately $14 million in external research funding this past year. Our College of Sciences and Humanities received $2.8 million, half of which supports undergraduate research experiences for our students. Our Teachers College received approximately $1.2 million to support people with autism. And most of the $3.7 million earned by our College of Health supports our faculty's work to improve health outcomes right here in our community. In short, these are outstanding academic programs, distinctive high-impact practices. That is what attracts students to Ball State. And the vibrant student life we offer all across our beautiful campus, that enriches their educational experience. We have more than 400 student organizations, and our campus is a regional destination for arts and culture. This past Monday and Tuesday evening, Jennifer and I always enjoy this every year, we hosted approximately 700 new freshmen who participated in one of our summer bridge programs. And each year we enjoy that opportunity, and Jennifer takes advantage of that opportunity. Because Jennifer always encourages them, she gives them a to-do list, she encourages them to take advantage of all the extraordinary programs and facilities that we have. She invites them to explore the David Owsley Museum of Art. There were about 17,000 people who visited our museum, and I suspect a bunch of them were students who went there at Jennifer's direction. She also encourages our students to attend programs in the Brown Planetarium. There were 24,000 visitors to the Brown Planetarium just last year. CFA hosted 450 performances on our campuses. These performances attracted 95,000 patrons, including thousands of our students. And for me, and perhaps for many of you, the most outstanding event of the past year was watching David Letterman interview Caitlin Clark. More than 3,000 people were here in Emmons Auditorium. You can still watch the program on Netflix. It's been nominated for an Emmy, and I'm grateful to all of my colleagues who made that event possible, but particularly Stephanie Arrington and Angel Tuttle for making this event possible. Thank you, Stephanie and Angel. Another compelling and perhaps the most visible draw for students who come to Ball State is our outstanding facilities. This spring, we completed the renovation of the Cooper Science Building. That's the third and final phase of our comprehensive plan to expand and renovate our STEM and health professions facilities. And last year, CCIM finished extensive studio renovations. These studios include this big LED wall that's transforming how faculty teach and how our students learn. To us, these physical changes are a tangible demonstration of our ongoing commitment to student success. And to prospective students, I think it encourages them to enroll. So in April, more than 1,000 people attended CCIM Plus. It was a day that the college demonstrated how our new technology is preparing students and graduates for jobs of the future. In June, 26 high school students visited our Foundational Sciences building as part of a free residential forensic science camp funded by the Lilly Endowment. In a few years, some of those campers will be among the freshmen who will enroll in our new undergraduate program in forensic science, which this fall will enroll 70 new students. In our health professions building, 400 high school students explored their interest in health careers in our Club Medic summer experience. These students also learned about how our College of Health serves our community. This past year, our Healthy Lifestyle Center held 460 outreach events, health fairs and mobile clinics in underserved areas of our region. And approximately 260 of our students delivered care to 2,200 community members right here in our college's interprofessional community clinics. We're improving the lives of the people, our friends and neighbors. Now, all of the buildings I mentioned are substantial investments from our state, and I am grateful to the General Assembly for this financial support, for their investment in us and our students. But many of our new facilities are funded by our generous graduates and benefactors. For the 7th consecutive year, we raised more than $30 million in new philanthropic gifts and commitments. Prior to this streak of 7 years, we had never done that in 2 consecutive years. And we've now raised more than $330 million towards our campaign goal of $350 million. We still have 2 years left. Those of you who know me know we don't dial down as we approach the finish line, we accelerate. This year, we're going to exceed that goal of $350 million, but I have a secret to share with you. You can't tell anybody. The real goal that we're working on is that by June 30th, 2027, we'll raise more than $400 million from our extraordinarily generous alumni and benefactors. So some of these investments are philanthropic investments in our facilities, and they'll benefit our outstanding student athletes. For example, Mike and Katie Shebeck donated $5 million to enable us to design and build a new locker room and clubhouse for our baseball team. And Eric Foss donated $4 million as the lead gift for the new Foss Championship Performance Center. Speaking of student athletes, last year our women's basketball team won both the MAC regular season and the MAC tournament championship and went to the NCAA tournament. They've reloaded for another run. Let's also celebrate, though, something that makes me particularly proud to support our student athletes. We still call them student athletes at Ball State for a very good reason. Because last year, across all sports programs combined, our Cardinals earned a GPA of 3.46. That's the highest combined GPA in our history. And get this, our women's golf team led the entire nation with a GPA of 3.97. The coach is still looking for the one student who got the A-. The most visible project that we're funding through philanthropy is our ambitious plan to revitalize the village. Construction is well underway on our new Performing Arts Center and the Cantio Hotel. In May, we celebrated the launch of our new Center for Innovation and Collaboration with a beam signing ceremony, and in June, we held a groundbreaking ceremony with our partner Trademark Construction for the new owner-occupied homes and townhomes that are being constructed immediately adjacent to the village and in the Riverside Normal neighborhood. But I believe the most enduring impact of philanthropy is on our people. In each of the past 5 years, our foundation has provided more than $4 million in each year, $4 million of philanthropic financial support to our students. These scholarships help us to recruit those outstanding students that I mentioned ago. The support also enables us to retain students with financial need. This past year, we've distributed more than $90,000 to students through our Jack Byral Emergency Aid Fund. Each of these grants is relatively small, but they are transformational for the students who receive them. And I want to just share a few excerpts of the thank you notes from some of our students who received those grants. One young woman who wants to become a teacher wrote, "I worked so hard all summer and even got a job during school, but it wasn't enough. Thank you for this donation. I don't know what I would have done without it." An international student who is fulfilling his dream of studying and working in our country, he wrote, "Receiving this grant is a powerful reminder that kindness and compassion exist in the world. It fuels my determination to work harder, to push forward, and one day be in a position to help others as you have helped me." And a graduate student who used her grant to pay her rent wrote, "Because of people like you, students like me can face difficulties with hope and strength." Hope and strength. We all need a little more hope and strength these days. And I'm grateful to the benefactors for their gifts and to our colleagues who help distribute these grants to our students. This work requires a good team, and at Ball State University, we have a great team. Philanthropic support also enables our faculty to conduct important research. Last fall, Professor V.J. Rubenstein became our inaugural Thomas E. and Karen Bumlauer Distinguished Professor of Natural Sciences. This endowed position was created by two accomplished Ball State graduates who met as undergraduates in an organic chemistry class. Tom Lauer worked for many years at the Indiana Department of Natural Resources before he became a distinguished professor in our biology department. Karen had an impressive 35-year career in medicine. She was an anesthesiologist who was involved in the first heart transplant in Indiana. Tom and Karen wanted to make a gift that allowed them to witness the direct impact of their generosity. The professorship that they created includes a stipend which Vijay is using to purchase supplies and equipment for his work studying how our cells detect and destroy damaged proteins that lead to neurological diseases. The gift also enables Vijay to spend more time in the lab conducting his research with our students. Vijay said his new 5-year appointment is especially meaningful because Tom was his mentor when Vijay first joined our faculty. Tom and Karen are here today. I saw them outside. Please stand so that we can recognize your shared commitment to science and student success at Ball State University. It's a great story. It's a great story because it demonstrates how strong relationships are vital for success. The collective effort of so many people, our faculty, our staff, our benefactors, that collective effort produces transformational results for our students. And I want to share just 2 final points on this issue. One is an important statistic, and the other is an exceptional distinction. Last year, we conferred approximately 5,000 degrees and credentials. In the 5 years since the onset of the pandemic in May 2020, we have conferred more than 31,000 degrees and credentials. An extraordinary statistic, a reflection of your good work. And Senator Alexander, as you know, because Becca's sitting right next to you, she'll remind you, I'm sure, approximately 80% of the women and men who earn an undergraduate degree stay here in Indiana to work, to live, and to serve the people in their communities. I hope you'll continue to share that down in the Capitol on our behalf. Thank you very much. You know, because as I say to Senator Alexander all the time, we are the public research university in Indiana that is committed to serving the state and to serving the taxpayers of the state of Indiana. We're proud of that. We're proud of that mission, and we're proud of a distinction, a recent classification by the Carnegie Foundation as an opportunity college and university. I think some of you have heard about this. To receive this distinction, Carnegie calculated 2 factors. First, does your student body reflect the state's demographics? That is, are you providing access to a representative student population, including first-gen and Pell-eligible students? Second, do your graduates, 8 years after graduating, do they earn on average at least 50% more than people without a college degree in their region or their state? That is, can you as an institution demonstrate what some people are questioning? Can you demonstrate that you produce a significant material return on that investment? We met both criteria. We are the only public institution in the state of Indiana to receive this new designation from Carnegie, and we are just one of 27 colleges or universities in the country and the only institution in Indiana, public or private, to earn this designation in combination with our designation as a Research II institution. That is, a designation as a doctoral high research institution. Only 27 in the country. But I'm not done. These 2 designations are important, but as you know, we're also a Carnegie Community Engagement institution. There are only 14 institutions in the country that have received all 3 designations. And these designations, give me just a second, these are an external validation of what we know to be true, that Ball State is one of only a very small number of institutions in the country that excel across all 3 aspects of our mission. We provide transformational educational experiences to our students. We engage in research, scholarship, and creative endeavors that enhance teaching and improve the lives of other people. And we support the communities that we serve. In my estimation, that is the educational Triple Crown. Now you can give yourselves and all our colleagues another round of applause. So it's on this strong foundation that we have developed the next iteration of our long-term strategic plan. As you know, last summer I convened a small committee to lead this planning process. The committee selected approximately 140 people to serve on one of the 10 working groups. Each group then prepared a report on a current or proposed strategic imperative. We then distributed 2 surveys to faculty, staff, students, alumni, and community members, Those two surveys, we had 7,000 responses to those two surveys. We also hosted open forums on our campus and in the community. More than 250 people attended one of those programs. We received substantial input, but for me, what was most important about those statistics, it demonstrates that there are so many people on our campus, in our community, who are committed, who are invested in our mission, and most importantly, in our future. People believe our long-term goals and our strategies are still important, notwithstanding the passage of time and the intervention of the pandemic. People on this campus have been working that strategic plan, and they want to continue working the plan. Now, the second iteration of the strategic plan reflects those sentiments, but there are a few adjustments and additions, and some of them are relatively minor, but some of them are important, and I want to just touch on a couple of them. For example, with MCS, the emphasis of our partnership is now exclusively focused on supporting educators in the school district to improve academic outcomes for MCS students and to enhance the learning experiences of our students. With respect to research and scholarship, we added a new strategic imperative to make clear that creative works constitute scholarship. We also added 3 new strategic imperatives. The first new imperative addresses artificial intelligence. It recognizes the potential impact of AI on teaching, on student learning, and on operational efficiency and effectiveness. I want to share, that transition is already underway. The work is already underway. Clinicians in our College of Health are using AI to ease the burden of documentation so that they can focus more time on patient care. Our graduate school is planning professional development workshops on the challenges and opportunities posed by AI in graduate education. And our sales center in the Miller College of Business has launched a grant program to help faculty to incorporate instruction about AI into their curriculum. And AI is also influencing the career trajectories of our students. Peyton Green is a 2-time graduate of CCIM. She earned both her undergraduate and master's degree in public relations. Now she's working towards her second Ball State degree, an MBA in artificial intelligence. Last fall, Peyton's first research paper was accepted into a national marketing conference. The theme of the conference was the effect of artificial intelligence on the marketing world. Peyton traveled to the conference where she presented her work on the impact of influencer marketing on consumer behavior. And that conference was rocket fuel for her ambition. After she finishes her MBA, Peyton will now pursue a doctorate. AI was also the focus of the winning thesis of this year's Janice Shimizu Award. The award is named in honor of the former director of our Master of Architecture program. This year's winner was Patrick McManamy. Patrick investigated how AI, machine vision, and computational logic are redefining architectural thought. Faculty jurors praised Patrick's thesis as forward-thinking and intellectually ambitious, and Patrick's future employer agreed. Patrick has accepted a position with a design firm in Los Angeles that is known for the innovative use of digital tools. So that's how AI is enhancing the work we do, the work that you do in the classroom. It's also enhancing our operations. Our Office of Information Technology is implementing custom AI solutions all across campus. Grants AI will allow researchers to enter a prompt and be instantly matched with relevant federal grant opportunities. Chatbots will assist online learners, and AI-assisted evaluations of handwritten forms will be used by the Career Center at campus job fairs. The second imperative that we added to our strategic plan reflects our enhanced commitment to relationship-rich experiences. Now, this concept we know is vital to student success, but it is not new to us at Ball State. For decades, we've nurtured a relationship-rich environment on this campus, and we will continue to do so in all of our interactions with all of our students. I want to share just a couple stories to illustrate the impact, the importance of this work. The first one is from Tia Gilbert, whose child attends Ball State. In February, Tia shared her appreciation for the relationship the Gilbert family had established with Deborah Fenty, the director of Cardinal Central. In a LinkedIn post, Tia wrote, "Ms. Fenty is intelligent, knowledgeable, polite, and she really loves helping our students." Tia shared how grateful she was that the Gilberts had met Deborah. Tia described Deborah in all caps as an angel. So Deborah, I think you're here. I can't see your wings, but I can see you there. I hope you know how much we appreciate the efforts that all you do. You and all of our staff do a great job. You do a great job making sure students feel welcome at Ball State and making sure that all of them know that they belong here. The support that some students need is vital to their ability to have equal access to classes and to campus life. This past year, our Office of Disability Services supported more than 5,000 students. That number demonstrates why we continue to be nationally recognized for serving students with disabilities. One of those students is Ethan Adderson. Ethan is earning his Master's of Arts degree from our School of Music. Ethan has limited arm mobility, which makes it hard for him to conduct music with a baton. As a result, he's exploring how to direct music using adaptations and assistive technology. Ethan has a simple answer for his innovative research. He says, disabled people exist in the classical music industry. We deserve to have equal opportunities in that industry, and we deserve to have the chance to prove ourselves as leaders. Ethan's graduate advisor is John Truitt. John, along with our disability staff, receive effusive praise from this budding maestro. Ethan said, Ball State has provided me with top-notch faculty, and the university has an inclusive environment. Ball State does a good job of holding up its principle of beneficence, and I am happy to be a Cardinal because of that. Another professor who fosters meaningful connections with our students is Tim Berg. Karina McDougall was about to graduate this spring with her business administration degree when she asked Dean Buss if she could speak at the medallion ceremony for graduating seniors in the Honors College. During her remarks at the ceremony, Karina described growing up in a family that struggled to make ends meet. For a while, they ate meals on cardboard boxes because they couldn't afford a kitchen table. As a first-generation student, she explained that receiving a scholarship allowed her to focus on her studies instead of worrying about how she would pay for her college education. And Karina identified one person who'd made the biggest impact on her and her life, Tim Berg. Karina wrote, I had the privilege of learning from Dr. Berg for 6 semesters. His guidance, support, and belief in my potential helped me to grow as a student and as a person. It's professors like him who make all the difference, and I'll carry the lessons he taught me for the rest of my life. So I have one more story. It is a story that involves a profound loss for our campus and for our community. Most of you know that Dr. Maria Williams Hawkins passed away earlier this year. Several of her pallbearers were former members of our student chapter of the National Association of Black Journalists, an organization that Dr. Maria led for many years. Just last year, in 2024, our NABJ chapter was recognized as the National Student Chapter of the Year. That so many of her students attended her memorial service, traveled from around the country, demonstrates that relationship-rich educational experiences are a defining feature of the compassionate character of our Ball State community. And I suggest that to honor Dr. Maria's memory, it is now time to elevate this work. The third new imperative relates to purpose exploration, which is kind of related. I want to share 2 stories that exemplify why we want all of our students to develop intentional pathways to professional fulfillment and to personal meaning. The first story is about Elizabeth Combs, who received a military scholarship. Elizabeth could have attended another college or university with an ROTC program in her home state of Virginia, but she chose Ball State because of our outstanding nursing program. Elizabeth thrived on our campus. She became the head of her military unit. She was admired by her peers, and her faculty recognized her talent. They thought she could become, right out of college, an infantry leader. But she was committed to becoming an Army nurse. Elizabeth was guided by her belief that career aspirations would bring professional fulfillment and personal meaning. Her decision made her family, including her grandfather, an Army veteran. It made her family proud. And our nation's shortage of military nurses meant that the work she wanted to do was important and urgent. After passing her national licensing exam on the first attempt, Elizabeth is now officially an Army nurse. She's putting her Ball State degree to good use, caring for other women and men who serve our country. The other story is about Ahmaud Carroll Tubbs, a landscape architecture student. Ahmaud is a native of Indianapolis. He has returned to that city for several internships, including one with Indiana Landmarks. The nonprofit organization is dedicated to saving our state's historically significant places. And for a summer, Ahmaud immersed himself in researching Green Lawn Cemetery, the city's first cemetery and the largest burial ground for Black people in Indiana. Ahmaud helped preserve the history of African Americans buried there, including the great-great-grandfather of Muhammad Ali. Because of Ahmaud's work and the work of many historians, archaeologists, and community members, government officials have halted development plans to allow for an excavation of this historic site. There was a recent profile about him in Landscape Architecture magazine, and in that profile, Professor April Westcott said that Ahmaud found a cultural connection through his internship that wasn't easy to teach in the classroom. Using the skills he acquired at Ball State, Ahmaud designed a memorial to honor the women and men who were buried in the cemetery, and in doing so, he discovered his purpose. This is what he said. Prior to this, I knew I wanted to do landscape architecture, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to be able to say that I positively impact the lives of many people and the environment itself, and I feel like doing this work does that for me. So I've spoken about these two new strategic imperatives because I believe they are that important to the work that we do here on our campus. They are also closely related, as I said, because establishing a genuine relationship with a student can help that student advance on a pathway to purpose. And when we demonstrate to students the value of a relationship-rich education, it also inspires them to return to campus as graduates to share those experiences with our current students. This past year, we had many graduates come to Ball State to do just that, and I want to just tell you quickly about two of them. When I asked Kayla Davion if she would speak at commencement in May, she graciously and enthusiastically accepted my invitation. As many of you know, Kayla is a Broadway star, and she's only a 2017 graduate from Ball State. And during that busy career, she started our Alumni Ambassador Program in our Department of Theater and Dance, the same department that gave her the confidence to pursue her professional dreams. While she was back on campus, Kayla told me about how her Ball State degree continues now. Even after she has starred in Broadway shows, it continues to advance her career. And this is what she said. In many audition rooms I walk into, they always say, "Oh my gosh, you went to Ball State?" I've only heard people speak highly of the school and its people. They recognize us by our humanity. I think that's important. It's gotten me through many doors, not only because of the resources it provides, but because people there are a prime example of hard work and kindness. Hard work and kindness. That's you. That's us. The other graduate is Ron Galbraith. Ron is a retired CEO with another distinctive career path, one that began in academia, continued in healthcare, and ended as a very successful entrepreneur. But before he launched that career, he was a student at Ball State. Ron's experiences as a first-generation college student in the 1960s shaped his professional aspirations. Ron always speaks highly of our faculty. His mentor was Professor Victor Lawhead, the professor of the first award that you heard this morning. Dr. Lawhead encouraged Ron's love of learning. He earned 2 degrees from Ball State, and then he became a professor at Vanderbilt University, and he was later a senior executive at one of the nation's largest healthcare systems. I invited Ron and his wife Faith to come to campus, and it was his first time back on campus in many decades. He was a guest on my podcast, and he described how he barely recognized the campus after 50 years. It had grown so much, and it was now so beautiful. After we recorded that episode, he handed me a poem that he had written in honor of his mentor. The full text of Ron's poem is on the screen. It's probably hard to read. And it reads in part, "You gave me the gift of critical thinking, and I've never been able to learn the same way again. You gave me the gift of asking questions, and I haven't been able to teach the same way again. You gave me your latest long list of books to read or reread, and I have carried a must-read list in my pocket ever since. You gave me the gift of embracing uncertainty while holding out for the truth, and I have yet to figure it all out. Many have benefited and even passed these gifts along. As one recipient, I know these gifts have made all the difference." Ron's poem, it's a powerful tribute to a man who was his teacher, his mentor, and his friend. So we modified our strategic plan to ensure that these opportunities exist. We've also modified our strategic plan to ensure that these opportunities are available to every student based on that student's individual talents, individual needs, and individual interests. We reaffirmed this point in our revised definition of our enduring value of inclusiveness. Our definition now makes clear our continuing commitment to respect different cultural experiences and intellectual perspectives in all people. We have also amended 2 relevant strategic imperatives to reaffirm our commitments to academic freedom and to freedom of expression, while ensuring that we develop strategies and initiatives that promote greater understanding of cultural differences in programs for all of our students and for all of our employees. Now, I know that it hasn't been easy navigating the federal and state changes that came our way beginning in January. And I also know that some of you are disappointed. We're disappointed in the decisions that I announced in April. But I believe that we found a way to adapt to these changes, to comply with these changes, while retaining our commitment to welcome and educate and support every student who enrolls at our university, and to ensure that every student will receive that individualized support and encouragement that they need to graduate and to have a fulfilling career and meaningful life. That is our collective responsibility, and that is my commitment to you and to all of our students. And because I believe, because of our resolve, we will continue to honor the promise that we make to our students and the promise that we make to each other. Now, I recognize that some people are still concerned about whether we will be able to honor that promise, given the ongoing questions, the challenges, the threats to higher education. We also need to respond to the significant reductions in our state operating appropriations. So in a few weeks, I will share with you the process that we will use to develop a stable long-term operating budget in light of those reductions. We will engage in a process to prioritize our financial investments in order to sustain our mission while identifying some ways to do so more efficiently. And I recognize that this process understandably may make you anxious. I also recognize that some of you may wonder, given these challenges, why should you continue to do this work? That's a fair question. So whenever I'm uncertain, I pause to reflect on the lives of the people whom I've had the good fortune to know, my personal heroes. Last year, if you were here, you'll recall that I shared a story with you about my mentor, Michael Schwartz, whose memorial service I attended in February of 2024. Today, I want to tell you about Dr. Anna Ornstein, who died this past summer on July 2nd at the age of 98. Dr. Ornstein was a native of Hungary who became an internationally renowned psychoanalyst. After her death, the New York Times published a lengthy obituary about her life and her work. You see, years ago when I was in middle school, we lived in Cincinnati. It was at a time when my father was dean of the law school at the University of Cincinnati. My best friend at that time was Raphael Ornstein, Dr. Ornstein's son. I was raised in a large Catholic family. The Ornsteins were Jewish. When Dr. Ornstein was a teenager, when she was 17 years old, she and her mother were sent to a Nazi concentration camp. In her obituary, Dr. Ornstein was remembered for revealing a rather surprising detail in one of her papers. She shared that being tattooed at Auschwitz brought her joy. Brought her joy because it meant that she would be assigned to forced labor rather than being sent to a gas chamber. The obituary also described how at family seders, she would recount her experiences at Auschwitz. I saw that brand on her arm, and I attended a couple of those seders. But what was most remarkable to me about Dr. Ornstein was her fundamental perspective on human psychology. See, she disagreed with Freud's theory that people are motivated by primal instincts. Instead, Dr. Ornstein became famous for believing that people are actually driven by a desire for love and an instinct to help other people. Pause to reflect on that for just a moment. This was a woman who personally experienced the most horrible manifestation of evil as a young girl, as a 17-year-old girl, and yet she fervently believed that evil can be overcome by hope and love, by hope and love. I also find encouragement when I read about how other people find strength in difficult times, in the face of difficult challenges. A few months ago, I read an essay in the New York Times on the topic of fear that helped me answer the question that I asked you a moment ago. Why should we persist in this work? The essay was written by Stanley McChrystal, a retired Army general. He's writing a book that's coming out soon. It's called On Character, Choices That Define a Life. There were two passages in that essay that struck me as pertinent, as relevant to our position, to our predicament. And the first passage reads like this: fear isolates. It pushes us into ideological bunkers, surrounding us only with those who think like us. And when fear festers, it mutates. What begins as anxiety turns into resentment. Resentment hardens into hatred. Hatred strips away our ability to see others as people. The result is a society driven by suspicion and hostility. The second passage read, the strength of our character is not defined by the absence of fear, but by our ability to face it, to rise above it, and to live and to lead with integrity. It is in these moments that we show the true measure of our resolve. So for me, the foundation of our collective resolve resides in the enduring value of our mission. In my view, we must persist. We must persist because our work is so meaningful. It's so important. In my estimation, I shared with what the provost said in his remarks. The work that we do on our campus is never more important, has never been more important than it is right now, today. And my confidence and my conviction, they spring from my faith in all of you, our faculty and staff. I embrace each day with that hope and with optimism because I have the good fortune to serve you. I know that our future is bright. I know that our best days are yet to come. I know these things to be true because I know you. Because I know you. So, as you know, I end each convocation with a musical performance. But before I introduce today's performers, I have to share two things with you. First, every year this musical performance is arranged by Michael Rafter. We are so fortunate that in 2019, Michael left his full-time job on Broadway and decided to become a full-time faculty member here. But he still performs. In fact, in May, he made his debut with the New York Philharmonic, leading musicians in a concert of Broadway favorites performed by Sutton Foster. Second, as some of you know, when I started this tradition 8 years ago, I asked Bill Jenkins and Michael to have our students perform a song of my choice. Yeah, these people know where this is going. And every year since then, Bill and Michael have picked a different song. Right? But despite my unbroken record of failure, I once again recommended a specific song. But this time I upped my game because my recommendation came with a story. So give me just a moment to tell you that story. See, for Christmas, Gail gave me a book titled The Small and the Mighty. It's written by Sharon McMahon, a former high school teacher. This book is about 12 ordinary Americans whose lives changed our nation's history. One chapter was about Catherine Lee Bates. Catherine, or Katie as she became known, grew up in America in the late 1800s, at a time when women were denied many opportunities that were then available to men. Fortunately for Katie, she was admitted to one of the first classes at Wellesley College. A few years later, she returned to Wellesley to teach, but writing poetry was her real passion. In 1893, Katie was among the 27 million Americans who attended the Chicago World's Fair, and she was awestruck by our country's innovations and modern inventions. And then she continued her travels that summer. She made it to Pikes Peak in Colorado. It was difficult for her to get to the top, but her reward was being struck by what she later described as divine inspiration. An urge, she said, an urge that was so strong that she had to stop what she was doing and write a poem. It took 2 years for her poem to reach the public. But when Katie's poem was finally published on July 4th, 1895, our nation, all across the country, they were captivated by her poem. And in 1911, a Baptist minister decided to set the words of her poem to music. The song became an overnight sensation. The song is America the Beautiful. A few years later, when American soldiers in France were told that World War I was over, they walked out of the trenches singing America the Beautiful. In December 1941, when President Roosevelt was agonizing over our nation's response to Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, an anxious crowd gathered outside the White House, and they sang about a more hopeful vision of spacious skies. On November 27, 1963, in the wake of President Kennedy's assassination, President Johnson ended his first presidential address by asking Americans to unite in those familiar and cherished words, America, America, God shed his grace on thee. Over the course of her lifetime, Katie made just $5 from her poem and that song. But the poem, she said, was made possible by her older brother, Arthur. You see, Arthur had paid for her to go to Wellesley College. And it was her college education who made her who she was, a college education. Katie never sought fame or fortune, but as Sharon McMahon wrote, what Katie did was and is important. Her words light the way of truth, our shared history as a nation, and the direction in which we should be heading. Katie knew America wasn't perfect. It wasn't then. It isn't now. But Katie believed in the power of poetry to remind Americans what it is they do love about America. And her words, perhaps even more importantly, remind us of our obligation to create that more perfect union for all people from sea to shining sea. That is Katie's enduring gift to us. So it was reading about Katie's story and the poem. That's why I told Bill I wanted America the Beautiful to be this year's song. And something remarkable happened. Bill agreed to have our students perform my song. Remarkable. So now, please welcome to the stage our talented musical theater students. They will be singing a medley of America the Beautiful, written by Catherine Lee Bates, an American Tune, written by Paul Simon, in an arrangement by Michael Rafter, who will also be playing the piano. Thank you very much.
I don't know a soul who's not been battered. I don't have a friend who feels at ease.
I don't know a dream that's not been shattered or driven to its knees.
It's alright, for we've lived so well so long. Still, when I think of the road we're traveling on, I wonder what's gone wrong. I wonder what's gone wrong.
And I dreamed I was flying, and high up above, my eyes could clearly see the Statue of Liberty sailing away to sea.
And I dreamed I was flying. We come on a ship they call the Mayflower.
We come on the ship that sailed the moon.
Come at the age's most uncertain hours and sing an American tune. God shed His grace on thee, till selfish gain no longer strain the banner of the free. And crown thy good with we sing this American tune.